Hey, what's up guys? This is your boy Travis back again here at Big Boy Toy Reviews, and today we are taking a look at a third-party company. I want to say the company is called, oh no, this is Snail Shell, but this is a third-party company. So these two figures are from Snail Shell. I have reviewed some Snail Shell figures before, so I love them. If you don't know anything about Snail Shell, they are one of the biggest company making waifu type figures right now. According to the website, we have Sandhouse Shikura, and I believe that's her, and then Sandhouse Saori, which would be her. I had to read it off the website because nothing on here really has their name. It's all in Japanese. Even if you look on the back, I don't see their names anywhere. So, and everything is in Japanese. So I had to read them off the site. But this is 01 and this one is 02. And I want to say they're basically the same figure, at least body wise. For the most part, like their upper body, they seem like to be basically the same figure. So that's why I'm shooting them together, because there shouldn't be too much different between the two, other than obviously their weapons or whatever that they use. So yeah, this is an interesting pose here. So let's go ahead and get them out the box and take a better look. All right, so here they are out of the box. It took me a while to get all of this stuff out of this box because they come with a ton of stuff. I mean, the amount of accessories that they come with is absolutely ridiculous. I want to say something. Each one of these figures cost $100. One was $102, and then the other one was $99, so roughly $100 each. There are premium Bandai Dragon Ball figures that they want $100 for. What else? SH Figure Arts, Mayfex. I'm gonna put you guys on notice because these third-party companies are putting you to shame. Absolute shame. The amount of accessories that these figures come with is absolutely absurd. You can see it up here. Look at all those effect pieces. Look at all those effect pieces. They come with, we'll get to the accessories. Let's just talk about the figures because I don't want to even get started on a rant right now. We'll start with the figures. So they are noticeably different. I thought they were basically the same figure, but obviously you can see that they're not. She's quite a bit taller than this one. They might be reusing some parts somewhere, but I honestly don't know. I think these are two completely different characters. Like, maybe the faces are the same, but are they meant to be like twins? I'm not sure. But they do look similar to each other, so they could be sisters. I'm not 100% sure, but it's gonna be hard to do this review now that I know that these are two completely different figures for the most part, but we're gonna knock this out. So let's start with Shikura. I don't know how to pronounce her name, which is this one here. Okay, so she clearly has certain features that stand out more than others. Okay, let's just look at the details on the figure. So her hair is kind of like a softer plastic. I love that. I have voiced that many times that I wish more figures would come with this softer plastic like this. Now, unfortunately, it does get harder on the way up, so that is going to restrict some head movement there. The paint on this figure is done really, really nicely. You can see the little tassels or whatever here. There's I don't think there's really any like paint smudges or anything that I can notice on camera. Maybe here on these little bitty small parts, but for the most part, this is a sculpted piece. It might be a little bleed there, but look at her shoes. Look at these shoes. I mean, look at her shoes. Look at the paint job on these shoes. They look absolutely fantastic. I mean, if we get closer here on the belt, that's painted really nicely. She has paint and sculpting all over the place. Look at her gauntlets. Very, very nicely painted. Even the inside painted with that nice metallic gold. It looks really good. Even the black paint has like a sparkle to it. It might not be coming up that great on the phone, but it does have a nice little sparkle to it. Aesthetically, she looks fantastic. Look at the collar. Look at her eyes. You'll really see it in the faces, but look at her eyes. Done very, very nicely. I mean, paint job alone, this is a standout figure. It really, really is. You can say that, so since we are talking about aesthetics here, so this is sculpted to be that round. I don't know why they made it look like she had the biggest butt in the world, but her butt isn't that big. This just poofs out way too far. So they kind of over exaggerated that a little bit. This could definitely like be flattened a little bit, but she is noticeably hippie. And again, it does puff out more, but if we can, we'll just look under here. Her hips are wide. They have a large gap in between her legs to give her that very hippie look. But yeah, she is noticeably hippie and noticeably busty in the chest, obviously. And not that this needs to be stated, but her upper body is squishy. So that is like a silicone material here. So I believe that's on both of the figures. But yeah, just everything is painted nicely. So this is $100. This is what you should get for $100. In just paint alone, this is what you should get for $100. So let's move on to Saori. I think that's what this one's name is. Saori. Same thing with her. Everything is very nicely done. Her faces are done really, really nicely. Again, this is squishy. Hers does come down a little bit more, but they don't have any sculpted anatomy under there. Just look at the paint. Look at the paint and the sculpting. Look at this. Look how nicely that's done. Look how clean that is. You might see some bleeding or some edging some places, but if this was a Marvel, obviously I shouldn't compare this to Marvel Legends because they're much cheaper, but they're a $1 billion company. Snail Shell, from my understanding, is not. This should be standard for any figure that you pick up. If they're gonna do sculpting and painting, look at the gradient, look at the transition between the orange and then to the black. The little bitty triangles, nicely painted. I mean, and her shoes are very similar to the other girls, also very, very nicely painted. Everything is phenomenal when it just aesthetics alone. Look at the hair. I didn't really show off the other one's hair as much, but you can see a clear shading coming from the top to the bottom and then all the way down to the end of the ponytail. You won't get this on a premium Bandai action figure that they want you to spend $80 to $90 to $100 for, that don't give you hardly any accessories and they reuse parts. I don't see any reuse in this. Look at how this. I just don't get it. I just don't get why we have to deal with companies, multi-million dollar, billion-dollar companies like Marvel Legends, or Bandai, that just refuse to do better. When we have third-party companies, it's sad that the third-party companies have to come out with their own characters or make unlicensed characters, or but I don't know why we keep giving these companies money that refuse to do better, especially when these are companies that have done better in the past, or they'll have figures that they clearly know what they're doing, but for some reason refuse to just continue to do that all the time. So yes, we haven't gotten into articulation yet, so I'm not quite sure about the articulation, but aesthetics right now, it's aesthetics. I don't know. This is a 9.5 out of 10, 10 out of 10. Like, you can't go wrong with the way that their paint is done very nicely. They have two different mediums. You got the hard plastic and the silicone. The sculpts are done very nicely. They're sculpted in the, I mean, you've seen it. There's no reason for multi-million-dollar, billion-dollar companies. There's no reason they can't do the same thing. And the thing is, if they did something like this, they would charge you $150, $200 for a figure, because they have they have the licenses for like Dragon Ball Z and One Piece and things like that. And I'm not saying these companies don't make good figures, but they're not consistent. They're not consistent, and they need to be more consistent. So anyway, let's move on to accessories. All right, let's start with we'll start with the Saori's, which is the taller one. We'll start with her accessories, okay? Because she has a metric shit ton. All right, so let's, you know what, I was gonna start. Let's just start with faces and hands first, because usually that's what I start with. All right, look at the face. This is her first face. I guess you can call this like a worried face. And they do have movable eyes. So that's also a thing that you can do with these. I've seen this in a lot of third-party companies. They have these little things that you can move the eyes around with. I'm not going to do it right now, but you can move her eyes around. And look at the paint job in her eyes. Look at that paint job in her eyes. It's absolutely stunning. It is absolutely stunning. Then here she is with like a winking pose. Her mouth looks good, and also these are also movable, but she didn't need an eye in that one, obviously, because she's winking that eye. And then obviously the one that she came with in the box is also done very, very nicely. Very stern, plain look there. Then she comes with a bunch of hands. So she comes with two peace sign hands. So these look good. They are admittedly kind of soft, but I mean, they're hands. Then she comes with two weapon gripping hands. So it's very hard to see. They're very pale, very almost translucent. So I can't tell if she has any nails or anything there, any sculpted nails in there. And then she has some more somewhat grabby hands. These might also be for her weapon. Oops. Yeah, so I can't really tell if there are any nails there, sculpted nails in there. And then obviously she just has two pair of open hands, like spread open hands there, that she came with in the box. And it doesn't look like she has any nails to me. Now, let's get on with the accessories. You know what? I think I'm going to do, okay, then we'll do the faces. Well, hold on. We'll do her weapon real quick, because the other girl is obviously wearing her weapon, but this one is also very nicely painted and sculpted. So this is kind of a flimsy plastic, kind of a brittle plastic, so this can break, so be careful with it. But look at it. I like the translucent attachment there on the top. But yeah, this is done really, really nicely. The paint is done nicely, just as good as the figure. I don't know if those are supposed to be bullets or just part of the design, but it looks good. It looks really, really good. Now we'll do the other one's faces, and we'll just pull both of these out. So she also has two faces. So she has this face here, which is like a smiley face, kind of. So also done really, really nicely. And also her eyes are movable. And then she has another face where she's like crying, it looks like, or maybe she's embarrassed. And she doesn't have any movable eyes in that head or in that face. And then obviously this is the face that she comes with in the box, and those I believe are movable eyes. Okay, so then we can just bounce around with what similar accessories they have. So they both come with different types of little fireballs. Now you can see each one of these fireballs are different sculpts. They are painted absolutely fantastic. We can get a close up on this one. It does have a thing to put a stand in there, because obviously she can shoot fireballs there, and she can shoot fireballs somewhere. And it looks like actually her weapon spreads open. Is that right? Oh, it does. It does. That's cool. That's really cool. Does this move? No, that doesn't move. So yeah, her weapon actually has some articulation to it. I didn't notice that until I just looked on the box there. Yep. Anyway, so yeah, this fire accessory looks fire, I guess. And they're both nicely done. They're clearly two different sculpts though. Like, I don't see anything similar as far as sculpting that they just copied the same sculpt. Well, hold on now. I could be wrong. These might be the same, because that looks the same. These maybe they might be just turned around. These could be the same sculpt. I could be wrong. These could be the same sculpt, but so what? They both look fantastic. So they both come with that. Then they both come with, oh, I forgot to show the other girl's hands. These are fantastic. So the girl with the gauntlets on, she comes with these. Each individual finger is segmented, articulated in 3 different spots. Here, here, and here in the base of the hand. All of her fingers can move, and they're good. They're tight too. They're not loose or anything. So you can give her all kinds of poses with this hand. She can't make a fist totally. That's why she comes with fists in the box. But both of her hands have that articulation. When do you ever get something like this with Bandai? The only time you can get something like this from Hasbro is if it's a HasLab that they want you to pay $300 for. That's the only time you can get these kind of fingers from Hasbro. But yeah, I showed you the fist that she had when I showed her off. Okay, now we can get to the other stuff. They both come with these awesome rock stands. So I'm wondering, so again, detailed. It's all flat on the other side, but detailed, very nicely detailed. It could be better. I mean, it's soft, but it's good enough. I would say it's good enough. It comes with a bunch of peg holes in it. And then the other one, and I don't know what this would be for, but this one, look at this one. So this one comes in all different types of segments. So you can pull this off. I'm assuming that maybe you can change these pieces. They also have peg holes in kind of random places. Like you can see a peg hole here in this one. So all of this detaches. You can detach all of this stuff and move it around. You might not be able to move it around, but it all detaches. Now I don't see this coming. Oh yeah, this comes apart too. The sculpting on this one is significantly more detailed than this one for some reason though. So it might be because I think she's smashing the ground. This is supposed to be her smashing the ground, and this is maybe just her kind of, I don't know, just the ground. But all of these pieces can come apart. It comes with these 2 separate other rock pieces, which I have no clue what they are for. But it comes with that. I only read the directions on one, so I don't know how to put this together or anything like that. If I decide to display them somewhere, they would clearly have to have their own little area for them, just the 2 of them. But yeah, they got peg holes throughout. Yeah, this is, again, I don't know what these multi-billion-dollar companies are doing, but they are getting put to shame by third-party companies. That's all I gotta say. That's all I have to say. $100. So yeah, and it's like movable. Okay, so she comes with that, and then they both come with a ton of stands for all the different accessories that they have. All right, so that's cool. So they both come with a bag of these stands. Now, we're not done. So the girl with the gauntlets, she's done with her accessories, but then we have her. So I haven't taken them out the plastic. You know what? Let's just go ahead and take them out the plastic. Look, I'm just gonna display all of these pieces like this so you can see everything that she comes with. So she comes with all these flame effects, and they are beautifully done, absolutely beautifully done. I'll pull one close. Absolutely, look at, they're so nice. They're so nice. I don't think the camera can really do it any justice. Like, these look so good. All of the fire effects are done like this, in this clear, shiny plastic. And it's just, they're just so good, and they're all different. I don't think any of them are exactly the same. At least they don't look like it. Maybe, no, none of them are the same sculpt. Look at this one. This one is really nice too. It's beautiful, beautiful accessories. Absolutely beautiful accessories. And they also come with so some of the things I didn't want to take out, but they come with an extra thing for the eyes. And then this girl specifically, with all the fire effects, she comes with a bunch of these little pegs that you can kind of place into the stand, and then also extra wrist pegs, and there's her extra eye mover thing. So they're fantastic. Let's get on to accessories, or not accessories, let's move on to articulation, and then we can do some comparisons and get the hell out of here. All right, so we'll do her first. They do have different articulation, obviously, different hair, different weapons, so they're going to be slightly different. The head is on a very small double ball peg. It doesn't look like the neck is on anything, and I have noticed that about a lot of third-party figures, especially in Snail Shell, that they don't do neck articulation. I think that's the only gripe I ever have with them specifically, is they don't do individual neck articulation, and I think they should, because it'll give them slightly more movement. But they can do back and forth. They can do down, not so much up, because like I said earlier, the hair is going to block that. But the side to side, you can get her somewhat turning around. You can probably get her to do a full 360, but you'll get plenty of posing out of that head. You don't need to exaggerate anything there. As far as her arms are concerned, she does have hinge pegs in her shoulders. So you can get those up about parallel before this starts hitting her head. If you move this, you can get it up a little bit more. You can go all the way around with that. And because of these huge gauntlets, you're barely, unfortunately, going to get, you get about 90 degrees out of it to the max, unfortunately. But that's just the nature of the nature of her weapons. I mean, they're huge, and yeah, they probably could have cut some out right here to give her a little more, or at least made this like movable, adjustable. They have a cut here, but it's useless when it has this big old ring here. But you're just gonna get about 90 out of there. Same here with this one. You're just gonna get maybe just a little past 90 on this side. As far as the torso is concerned, I think there's a double ball peg in here, so you're not gonna get a whole lot of movement out of it. That's about it. You're just gonna get that much forward, that much backwards. If you can't pop her apart. Whoops, you can't pop her apart. Let's see. And you can see this is the issue. If they just made this peg longer, and rounded this out instead of just having like a slit, she would get more movement forward and backwards. But because they didn't cut enough out here, she can't get any movement forward and backwards, and she can pretty much just get it side to side. So let's put her back together, and then that's the little hole that the peg goes into. See if we can get her put back together on camera here. So anyway, so yeah, she's really only going to get a little bit side to side out of that. And obviously, if you push it too far, she might lose some stuff. So unfortunately, unless you probably try to oil that up a little bit, you might be able to get a little bit more movement side to side out of there, because the ball peg is just really tight. Which is the exact opposite for her legs, because her legs are loose as hell. They are very, very floppy going out to the side. She can get the full splits. I give her that. She can do full splits. They have a kind of a weird setup in there. I don't know if I'm familiar with that leg setup, but whatever it is that they're doing, it's really floppy out to the side. Going forward, because she has a soft piece here for her little skirt, going forward, it's kind of floppy still. But she can kick forward pretty nicely. Backwards, she can kick backwards a lot. She lost her hair again. I just don't think I had pushed this in all the way. Yeah, it wasn't pushed in all the way. Here we go. Okay, yeah. So yeah, she can kick forward decently before this skirt blocks her off a little bit. She has a thigh swivel here, thigh cut, where I don't know what you want to call this, where that strap is. So that's on both sides. She gets way more than 90 degrees on the legs. Might be a tad long if you ask me, but I think that's what they're going for. But I think this is a little long. And then as far as ankles, you can kick up that far, down that far, and then you'll have to twist it for an ankle rocker. And then she does have a toe hinge for whatever reason. I'm not quite sure what you would need a toe hinge for that boot. And it doesn't lay flat. I think that's another issue here. If these lay flat, you probably saw me have some issues standing her. And oddly enough, her legs do give me some issues because of the looseness, but it's mostly because this boot isn't flat. So that's basically the biggest issue with her standing. But yeah, she can stand, and her feet are very small too. So that's also an issue, but she stands. And that is it for her articulation. Now for, let's just call her sister. Same setup on the head. She actually has a much longer peg, but it's such a small hole, she doesn't get as much movement. And her ponytail does kind of hit that sweet spot where she would be able to look up. If you pull her ponytail up, yeah, see, her hair kind of hits that sweet spot where you still can't get her head to go all the way up. They have the right idea though with that ball peg. If they gave her a neck peg, then she probably would be able to move that head a little bit more, but she can look down nicely, and she does get a decent amount of side to side. Shoulders, she can get them up that far. More than 90 degrees on that elbow. I don't mind this kind of elbow joint, but I do like the sculpting of her sleeve here. So that kind of distracts me from that hideous kind of joint that sticks out when her arms are straight. It's kind of unfortunate, like Figma, very much like Figma there. Her wrists are on a peg, a hinge, so she can do back and forth there. Very similar setup to her sister, I guess, but she has way more movement. So they actually made her a much longer peg and a round opening. I don't know why they didn't do it to the other girl. It kind of doesn't really make any sense. But she can lean quite a bit forward. So she has a lot of movement. You do get some gapping, but you see this is a floaty piece here. So you can move this middle piece down to try to cover that up. But she can move all around, and her face also came off. But you can see there's also moving eyes there. Just drop her face. Okay, so yeah, she gets really good torso movement. She is the opposite of the other one. Her legs are quite tight, but also her dress is a lot more restrictive. So I think she does have the same leg setup, but she cannot get as much splits because her dress has no slits in it for her to spread. The articulation is there, but unfortunately, her dress won't allow her to get more than basically this. Forward and back, that's about it. Yeah, that's about it. And then she has the same thigh swivel where that strap is. Over 90, also very long calves there. Does it swivel here? No, she doesn't have a swivel there. And essentially the same ankle joint setup. Yeah, they basically have the same joints there. Also still not flat here. So that's the issue with them standing. Oh, I forgot her ponytail is on a hinge here, so you can move that up and down. But that is it for articulation. Let's do a couple of comparisons, because this video is already hella long. Because I have them sitting here. Here is them with Yamamoto, SH Figure Arts Yamamoto, and SH Figure Arts Luffy, or Gear 5 Luffy. So that's what they look like together. Whoop. Luffy failed, obviously. There we go. But yeah, they look fine together. Could I see them on the same shelf? Probably not. But here she is next to another third-party company figure. I forget what her name is. I think it's Whiskey Sour. I think that's the name of this character. Let me look him up real quick. And then we have Figma Saber. So here we got some more waifu type characters here. Yeah, so this is Whiskey Sour. And was she a snail shell too? I think, no, she was from a company called Nuclear Gold Reconstruction. But yeah, there she is next to those two. All right, so here she is next to the apprentice witch, Nana Shikura, something. I don't know how to pronounce the damn name. And then this is the like science cat lady or something. I never really figured out what the hell the name of this character was. Himawari, I think. But they're all third-party companies, so that's kind of what I'm doing here. I got some first-party stuff that I'm doing comparisons to, but most of this is going to be third-party stuff. Mainly because these characters also have silicone in them. She doesn't, but the Whiskey Sour does have silicone in her. So that's why I'm doing these comparisons. A lot of third-party companies do silicone that I've noticed these days. So that's them. Alrighty, and here they are next to two more little waifu figures. Super Sonico from Sentinel and Second Axe, I think. And I forget what this chick's name is, but she's also Second Axe, so another third-party company. Although Sentinel did some kind of collaboration with, was able to do some kind of collaboration and make this character. So I guess Sentinel is a first-party company. I'm not sure. But here are the last of the comparisons. All right, so in conclusion, these are awesome figures. If you're not opposed to purchasing third-party figures, paying a little extra money for them, it's worth it, because even if you don't like the figures in general, the accessories that they come with can be used with any figure that you want to use them with. These girls come with so many accessories, it's almost worth it just to buy them for that alone. Now, I do think these are pretty much sold out everywhere, if I'm not mistaken. So, because these came out last year. So this is another one of my late reviews. These came out last year, I think September of last year, and I just hadn't got them delivered. But yeah, now looking at them, if I'm looking on Hobby Link Japan, yeah, it looks like they're both sold out. But yeah, so you're gonna pay anywhere from $130 to $170 depending on which one you pick. But I think they're worth it. I think they are definitely worth picking up, like I said, for even just the accessories alone. But that's it for the review. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, peace.